The Earth is awash with water, over 60% of its surface, but only 1% of it is drinkable. For many reasons, political, economic, and geographic, water is in desperately short supply in developing countries where 2 billion people lack access to clean water, and as many as 30,000 people die every day from diseases associated with dirty water. The Nuba Mountains in central Sudan are at ground zero for what is rapidly becoming a global water crisis. Water shortages in the Nuba Mountains are, in part, due to climate and geography. The climate of the region is semi-arid. Vegetation is sparse. There is no surface water available for much of the year. Nearly all drinking water is pumped from water wells. The wells provide a source of relatively clean water, but it is far from abundant. In fact, in many areas, the water table is dropping dramatically or has disappeared completely, leaving villages without a nearby water source. Politics and war also play a part in creating problems with water supplies. Almost from the date of independence in January 1956, Sudan has staggered from one conflict to another, with all of its resources and attention sucked into a whirlpool of fighting. We read almost daily about the plight of the people of Darfur, but it was during the last 20 years of civil war in the Nuba Mountains and in South Sudan that the government of Sudan perfected the techniques of genocide employed in Darfur today. The result of 50 years of war, a crumbling public infrastructure, an economy in shambles, and tens of thousands of refugees and internally displaced persons living in shantytowns, slums, and refugee camps. Under the stress of civil war, the water infrastructure has crumbled. At least 1/3 of existing waterworks, such as hand pumps, water yards, and hafirs, which are small ponds used for irrigation and for watering livestock, 1/3 of these waterworks are broken. Water, potable or otherwise, is in desperately short supply. Only 40% of the rural population has access to any clean water, and the amount per capita falls far short of the daily recommended amount of 30 to 50 liters per day for drinking, cooking, and washing. By comparison, you and I in the U.S. use an average of 420 liters per day. What is left of the water distribution system is inefficient. Women and children carrying 10-liter jerry cans perched on their heads bring water to their families. The water points from which they fetch their daily supply are often many kilometers from their homes. Water distribution systems, such as water pipelines and indoor plumbing, are nearly non-existent in the Nuba Mountains. In the town of Kadugli, the state capital, drinking water is delivered to households and businesses via donkey carts hauling 55-gallon drums of water collected early each morning at the central water yard. Not only is this distribution system inefficient, it is dangerous. In 2006, an outbreak of cholera occurred in Kadugli that was traced to water delivered from tainted water drums. Unfortunately, this desperate situation will get worse with the arrival of waves of returnees now on their way back to the Nuba Mountains after years of exile. During the war years, over 600,000 inhabitants of the Nuba Mountains were displaced. It is expected that over 50,000 of these people will return to the Nuba Mountains in the last half of 2007. They will find water supplies already taxed to the limit, an economy only now showing signs of life, high unemployment, few medical facilities or doctors, and schools made of straw. In spite of these serious challenges, our assessment team traveling to the Nuba Mountains in May of 2007 found many reasons to be hopeful. There is a revitalized government in the new state of South Kordofan. In spite of extremely limited resources, the state is providing a modest but increasing supply of water to the population of the Nuba Mountains. While funds may be in short supply, there's no lack of initiative or enthusiasm on the part of the people living in the towns and villages of the Nuba Mountains. No one is waiting for someone else to solve their problems with water. Waterworks such as hafirs, earth and rock dams, wells, and latrines are being constructed by hand, excavating with shovels and carrying rocks from surrounding hillsides. Perhaps the most important discovery we made is that the climate and geography, while a challenge, also provide the solution to the water crisis in the Nuba Mountains. Paradoxically, for an area in such desperate straits with water, there is no lack of available water in the Nuba Mountains, which receive over 600 millimeters, about 23 inches of rainfall in an average year. This is about the same amount of precipitation as the mountains of Colorado receive in an average year. Unfortunately, unlike the semi-arid states of the western U.S., the people of the Nuba Mountains have never had the resources or the political stability to build the dams and other waterworks needed to capture, hold, and distribute the water that falls during the rainy season. For them, water comes in a feast or famine cycle repeated each year, with nearly all the precipitation received during the 4-month rainy season simply draining away. The issue is not availability of water, it is the ability to harvest rainfall and hold the water for use during the dry season. Because of the severity of the water problem in the areas we visited, the assessment team recommended we begin our work in the Nuba Mountains immediately. We are now in the design and construction stages for 2 projects that will bring immediate relief to thousands of people in the Kadugli area. One project is known as the Miri Reservoir Pipeline Project. We are designing and constructing a pipeline to tap the existing Miri Reservoir approximately 20 kilometers from Kadugli. In addition to serving Kadugli, the pipeline will bring water to a number of villages along its route. Water will be used for agriculture and, after treatment, for drinking and household needs. Our second project is the Bilo Village Dam. This small earth and rock dam will provide water for a village that currently has no local water supply. Because of a drop in the water table, all the village's wells have gone dry. Women in Bilo must walk to a hand pump some 3 hours away to obtain their daily supply of water. The Bilo Village Dam and associated water treatment system will provide potable water as well as water for their livestock. To facilitate construction of these and other projects, and to provide a place for Nuba Water Project staff, volunteers, and guests to live, we are building a technical assistance center in Kadugli. Besides providing a base of operations, the center will enable us to field test a roofing technology that shows great promise of solving many critical issues related to housing. Known as HIPAR roofing, the system can provide rapid construction of new villages that are urgently needed to handle the influx of returnees, and at a very low cost. Made of a thin shell, flexible concrete material, these roofs are much more durable than the traditional thatch roofs used today. Water is the essential element. It is the lifeblood of communities. Without water, nothing else is possible. Education, health, economic progress, life itself. Nuba Water Project works in a part of the world that suffers like no other from a profound lack of this vital resource. We need your help to make these and future projects a reality. Please consider helping us by sending donations of money, contributions of your time and talents, or donations of needed equipment and materials. Nuba Water Project is bringing a better life to the people of the Nuba Mountains in central Sudan. We are providing sustainable sources of clean water. Yes, there are challenges, but there's also great hope. The Nuba are strong, resilient, and resourceful. There is peace for the first time in 20 years. And there is enough water if we can help the Nuba harvest the abundant moisture they do receive during the rainy season. By helping the Nuba solve their problem of scarce water supplies, we free them to address other pressing needs, such as education, sanitation, public health, and building stable communities. It all begins with clean water. Clean water brings life. Please help us bring that life to the men, women, and children of the Nuba Mountains.